Thank you for being here in this news section of Christian Lectures. This is part of our ongoing series exploring the foundations of Christianity in a clear and structured way. In this video, we are looking at something many Christians experience every week, but rarely step back to understand deeply: worship. What is liturgy? Why do sacraments matter? Why do churches look the way they do? Why do Christians speak about sanctifying time, space, and matter? This section helps us see the big picture. Christianity is not just a set of ideas, it is lived reality. The earliest Christians did not begin with textbooks. They gathered, prayed, broke bread, and proclaimed Christ crucified and risen. The rule of prayer became the rule of belief. What the church prays shapes what the church believes. Worship is not decoration, it is theology in action. Baptism is not just a public declaration, it is participation in Christ's death and resurrection. We are buried with Christ and raised with Him. Baptism is your personal Easter. It is new creation and the beginning of lifelong transformation. Christian life is not something added after baptism. It is the unfolding of baptism. The Eucharist stands at the heart of worship. It is rooted in the Last Supper, but is not merely a reenactment. It is participation in the risen life of Christ. Christ is not remembered as absent, but encountered as present. The Eucharist joins heaven and earth. It looks back to the cross and forward to the kingdom. It is thanksgiving, communion, and transformation. Modern life treats time as something that just passes, but Christian worship transforms time. Sunday becomes the sign of new creation. Feasts and seasons shape the year around the life of Christ. In worship, past and future meet in the present. Time becomes holy. Christianity does not reject the material world. Because God became human, matter can carry grace. Water, oil, bread, and wine become instruments of salvation. Salvation is not escape from the world, but its transformation. Creation itself is waiting to be renewed. The saints show that Christian teaching is not theory. Holiness is possible. The Church speaks of a communion that includes both the living and those who have died in Christ. The saints are not competitors with Christ, but witnesses to Him. They show what transformation looks like in real life. Church buildings are not random. Architecture expresses theology. Domes point upward. Icons surround worshipers, and the altar represents the meeting of heaven and earth. Sacred space teaches visually what theology proclaims verbally. Prayer is both personal and communal. Personal prayer flows from liturgical prayer. Humility, faith, obedience, and openness to the Spirit shape the Christian heart. Prayer is not only asking for things, but communion with God. Worship does not stay inside the church building. Marriage is blessed. Funerals proclaim resurrection hope. Memorial services affirm that death is not the end. Worship accompanies every stage of life. The Christian life becomes sacramental from beginning to end. Over time, worship developed. Early prayers were simple and later became more structured. Different regions developed different forms, but faith remained the same. Tradition is not frozen repetition, but living continuity. Here is the big picture. Christian worship reveals that salvation is not only belief in Christ, but participation in His risen life through the church. Time is transformed. Matter is sanctified. People are renewed. Creation is restored. Thank you for being here and listening to the video. This section helps us see that Christianity is not only something we think, but something we enter. Worship shapes belief. Sacraments shape life. The Christian journey is lived within a community transformed by Christ. Thank you again for being here.